Hello friends, I'm here in Winterport, Maine, USA, right off a dirt road. And this is called the Twining Cemetery. It's up a kind of steep little hill, but when you first walk in, you'll see a lot of these old graves. It did go up until the 20th century. You have some 1931 burials here, but a lot of them go back to the mid-1800s as well. Always thought this was an interesting one. Grandma and Grandpa Sparrow. In memory. No dates, no names. But next to them you have Jonathan Sparrow, who died June 20th of 1850, 49 years old. And his wife Keziah, who died September 23rd, 1862, age 62 years. So it's very possible that Grandma and Grandpa Sparrow could have been the parents of Jonathan. And it even looks like there's a space for maybe an unmarked grave between Grandma and Grandpa and Jonathan. And then you walk back, you can see some of the older burials as well. This likely was in the middle of the woods back in the 1850s, especially down a dirt road that's still a dirt road in 2025. Some of the Frederick family. Some good-looking old stones. Joseph Cole and his wife Hannah both died in the mid-1850s. Well, he died in 1869, but the mid-1800s anyway. Most of these are family plots. You can see sort of the concrete fence or the barriers anyway that mark the corners of the family plot. This is Isaac Knowles and his wife Martha. There's several other Knowles family members throughout this cemetery. Some magnificent old family stones. Sherman. You even have the old footstones a little bit. I always like when I can see burials from the mid-19th century and then their descendants buried in the same plot. So Hattie S. Sherman here was born 1868 and died in 1950. Simeon Cole and Rose Cole, his wife, they died in the early 1900s. Simeon lived till 1906, Rose 1910. This is the very back on the edge of the woods. The Fosters. Luther Stevenson. There's just a footstone, says AS. And there's a few stones that are crumbling, one actually laying in the woods. It's quite a compact little cemetery, but it does go up a little ways. As you can see, it goes up another hill. This is the Sinnott family. Thomas, 1827 to 1902, and his wife Melissa. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I can't tell if it's his wife or not. Probably because Thomas Sinnott was born 1827, Melissa 1832. Just a few years difference. Melissa Loretta, it says. died 1933. And on the back, Charles Sinnott, 1873 to 1945, and then Rose Sinnott, 1877 to 1934. I can make out Watson, but the name is covered with dirt. Infant daughter of September 12, 1990, she passed. I do remember working photo requests for this cemetery last year, and I was able to fill a few, but some I was unable to find. And you can see some of these stones are kind of broken up and in pretty harsh shape. This is Olive Sparrow, wife of James Foss. Born October 15, 1820, died January 16, 1903. Gone but not forgotten. There's her husband, James G. Foss. You can tell his stone is broken, and then it was repaired so it sits upright. A member of Company H, 16th Regiment Maine Volunteers, was killed at Laurel Hill, Virginia, while a word I can't make out, defending the colors of his regiment. Civil War veteran right here, died in battle. James Foss, and I like how it has the figure of the Civil War soldier holding the flag. Somebody put a sticker, U.S. veteran. Mary, daughter of William H. and Abigail Shaw, July 25th, 1817 to January 28th, 1888. So she was about 70. There's her parents, Abigail and William, complete with the old footstones. Looks like Cordelia S., I would assume probably another daughter of Abigail and William Shaw. There's our Civil War veteran's footstone. There's his headstone again. I do remember seeing this stone and this one. It was a husband and a wife. I can't recall the names offhand on Find a Grave, but I filled these photo requests just based on what I could see. Very difficult to read and almost completely collapsed at this point, but there they are, and there's their footstones. This was their son, I remember, Jonathan, son of Prince H. and Sarah. Last name starts with S. It's on Find a Grave. I can't remember what the actual last name was off the top of my head. It's probably Staples, because this says Mother Rebecca M., wife of William P. Staples, 1822 to 1888. And you can see it's all the same family plot. You can see the barriers there. Some of these folks are likely still alive because it will have their date of birth, but not the date of death carved in. But here you have Thankful, old name, wife of James G. Downs, died February 3rd, 1868, aged 29 years, 10 months, 10 days. Kind of an obelisk-shaped headstone, not a shape you see too often. These were the children of James and Hannah Young. It says James died November 30th, 1850, age 4 weeks. Laura S. died October 12, 1854, age 11 months, 12 days. Also 2 infants, children of James and Hannah L. Young. And here are the parents. Hannah L., she died November 20th, 1899, age 82. And James, who died October 18, 1865, age 65 years, 4 months, 12 days. Another person named Thankful, daughter of Abner and Mary Twining Cemetery namesake, the Twining family. She was 50, died 1848. There's your old school looking headstone. David, son of Abner and Mary Twining, died March 31st, 1847, age 41. Hannibal and Dora Baker, I believe, were the 2 photo requests I could not find in this cemetery. There are other Bakers buried here, but I could not find Hannibal and Dora. The only 2 photo requests that go unfilled. Likely dust at this point, or possibly never marked. Here's the top of that little other hill where you can see a bunch of other graves. The Littlefield family. I like how even in the 1800s, the late 1800s, they were still kind of using footstones. Some cemeteries, they seem to have been phased out by 1850, but these folks were buried later on in the 1800s, and they still kept those footstones, so that's pretty neat. These are members of the Baker family, but again, I could not find Hannibal and Dora. This would be Rufus, who I believe might have been one of his brothers. Died 1885, age 70 years, 4 months, 4 days. This would be Rufus's wife. She lived to be 86 years, 9 months, 4 days. But the top is missing, so you can't really see her name. But I do seem to recall it's on Find a Grave. Thank goodness for old records that we can match up. There's Rufus's footstone, prominently R.B. Rufus Baker. Fred Cole, April 12, 1879. January 17, 1913. This cemetery has a mix of the more thick 20th century family stones and footstones, and then of course the mid-1800s thinner stones. But it's a very cool older cemetery. You can kind of see down the hill. I just walked up down there. The Bolin family, Charles and his wife Effie. And here's the outermost corner, the Lowell family plot, John and Hannah. And you can see the sort of the boundaries have both the concrete pillars and the iron bars in between them. So as large as that is, and that's the only visible headstone in front, there are likely unmarked burials right here as well. And we have sort of another end of it where you have Ephraim Downs, his wife Nancy, and then you walk straight back and we have some more Downs. I love this name, Rosilla, and also infant. Below that it actually says infants, so there must be possibly the children of Rosilla, or siblings perhaps. Sarah Slack, wife of George H. Downs, 1861 to 1924, and Metabelle Downs, wow, 1796 to 1881. probably the oldest born burial I've seen, at least marked in this cemetery. And there you have it, folks. This is the Twining Cemetery in Winterport, Maine. Cool old family cemetery.